Cool.
Wow.
Okay. Welcome. This is Footy Thoughts with Joey and
Casey.
I believe it is game week 24. Let me double check on FPL. Yeah, it is game week 24. We will be going over kind of our takeaways from the last week, as well as kind of a few games to look forward to this weekend. We always talk about, thank you for doing that. We always talk about Tottenham and Everton because those are the teams we support. And then we decided to talk about Newcastle and Liverpool and then Brighton versus Fulham this week.
Yep.
I'll start with the takeaways from last week. First off, we always do a lock. Each of us give a pick. And this past week, we went 1-for-1. Casey hit Leicester, Tottenham, over 2.5. And then I had Chelsea team total over 1.5. That fell just short due to a controversial Conor Gallagher shot / handball, no handball.
It was a handball.
It is what 100%. It is.
100%.
You can't rely on a penalty like that in the 88th minute to cash a bet, but we're 3-1 overall, hoping to go 5-1 and 2-0 this week. So, do you have any takeaways from this past game week?
Honestly, this was a really fun game yesterday. Poor Tomiyasu. That was unfortunate for him, especially on that second goal because it deflected, and I think Ramsdale would have had that save had it not deflected. Liverpool looked good. They've got a lot of good players coming back from injury. They're starting. I mean, teams go in waves throughout the season, guys. So, Liverpool has been, especially from an FPL perspective, a hard avoid, as well as from a betting perspective. But teams go in waves, so I can see them coming back on the up and up here. Fun game, Leicester Tottenham. Leicester's looking really good, guys. James Maddison for FPL, I think, is a solid shout. Southampton lost once again. They're in big trouble, guys. They are in big trouble. Bournemouth looked really good against Newcastle. They made a lot of new January signings that people aren't talking about, and I really like their signings. Let's see if they can take it through. I honestly have no idea what relegation is going to look like this year. I'm trying my best to predict who gets relegated. People all over media are saying Southampton are fucked, but I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. Those are kind of my takeaways. I mean, this Everton Leeds game is going to be huge this weekend. Huge relegation battle.
We'll go ahead and hop right into that because we'll start with the Everton Leeds game.
Yeah, let's go for it. This one's going to be interesting. Managerless Leeds, they're not going to play any different than they usually do. Leeds has an identity they have for a very long time. I don't know if it was Bielsa that kind of created that identity for them. It may have been there before he was there, but he certainly had an impact on who they are and how they play. They don't usually stray from that. Everton under Sean Dyche, we are slowly starting to find an identity and find some confidence. I think it's going to be a wide open game. I think there's going to be some gnarly tackles in there, a bunch of yellow cards, possibly a red card. It's going to be a scrappy, weird game, but it is a relegation battle. So I can see there being a short amount of goals. I think that defenders and goalies are going to lock it down for the most part. Although in any other context, this would be both teams scoring, both teams getting lots of chances. But considering the context of this, Everton don't have a goal scorer. Ellis Sims looked really bad, unfortunately.
Well, he's like 21, right?
Or 20? Yeah, he's super young. He has plenty of time, but when he was thrown into a game like that last weekend, he just everything.
That
fell
is something
through.
I do not get. Like, I don't know if Sean thought or Dyche thought that. I just called Sean Dyche Sean. Because Arteta did that with Tomiyasu against City, like a huge game, and just throws Tomiyasu in. And then Conte did that with Pape Sarr. Like, he played the game before, then threw him straight into the North London derby. Like, even if he looked fine, you just can't do that with young players or players who aren't even integrated or have a spot in the first lineup.
If Malpe had a sniff of form ever with Everton since he's joined, then he would have been an easy start. But he's been really bad.
Great
And
business by Brighton there.
great
Great
business by
business.
Brighton. 100%. But I don't even think Malpe's that bad of a player. I don't even think he's that bad. I was actually really excited when we signed him. I was pumped. I was like, that's a sneaky good signing. And I've been proven wrong so far. I mean, I hope he could turn around. But Everton ruined him. It wasn't the other way around. It wasn't that Malpe was always bad. It's just he came to Everton and shit the bed like most players do when they come to Everton. It's the culture. It's in shambles. Hopefully,
Wow,
we're turning that around.
I'm just seeing the table graphic right there that they're separated by 1 point. This really is
Yeah.
a big game.
Huge game. Huge game. So nerves all around. It's going to be a fun one. I have
Fucking
zero idea what's going to
toffees
happen here.
in the stadium going crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, not like I need a score prediction, but do you guys get it done?
If we get lucky, we get it done. If we get lucky. I see this as a 1-1 draw. Both teams would settle for a draw here. That would be okay with both teams. Maybe Everton would be a little bit disappointed to get a draw at home to Leeds, but the reality of it is Leeds has a much more efficient attack than we do. We have a better midfield. Our core three, Onana, Iwobi, Doucouré, Idrissa Gueye. That's a good core midfield.
I need
there.
you to verbally say who they're better than.
What do you mean?
Like you said, Everton's midfield is verbally better. Is better than Leeds' midfield. Who are they better than?
Okay, I'll say it. They're better than Tyler Adams and Weston McKennie and Mark Roca.
Well, Mark Roca's injured, I think, so it'd be the other American attacking player.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
I still stand with that.
Enough teasing. We'll move on to the Tottenham West Ham game where I can start my rant about how shitty my club is. They're on Sunday.
Where that should be. Oh,
They're on Sunday. So we got a little derby.
Oh yeah, this is a derby. I always forget that. West Ham is so irrelevant in London to me.
I know. You know, as you can see,
important.
If you don't see, we've had a key amount of injuries, including our goalie, our starting midfielder, a depth midfielder, and an occasional started left wing back.
West Ham. I didn't realize this. Good lord.
So they also have their fair share of injuries because they're missing Aguerd, who's one of their new center backs this summer.
And he's solid, very good. That's a bad miss for them.
Paqueta is I think their club record signing, and obviously he's a very influential player in the midfield. But this game is going to be
all of these are huge, except for Alphonse.
We were talking beforehand. Since the restart, Tottenham has 3 home games, a loss to Villa, scoreless loss, a scoreless loss to Arsenal, and then beat City 1-0. And just knowing our luck, it's going to be an Antonio rocket piss missile upper 90 goal. It's going to get him a point. It's hard to have any confidence because, we just lost 1-0 to AC Milan in the Champions League, even though we did look good with the Pape Sarr and Skip midfield, but we just weren't generating anything. We've got Perisic, who's 34 or 33, whatever, playing left wing back, and we'll have to play there for the next 2-3 weeks. We may see Richarlison, we may not. He's still getting maybe 20,
Please
25
fucking start Richarlison.
I know.
God damn.
Trust me, I know.
Ridiculous.
It depends how our back line is. And we're going to have Romero back, so I doubt we allow 4 goals like we did against Leicester. Oh, yeah. Also, we got destroyed in our TikTok comments because you and I are saying Leicester when it's Leicester. And everyone was like, it's not how it's pronounced. It's Leicester.
Were you even alive in 2016?
Yeah, did you even see them? But then I responded to one comment saying, what about Leicester? Does that work for you? But, I won't complain about the comments.
Fair enough.
But moving on, there's this game. it's usually a draw. That's kind of like that baseline to it. When if Tottenham's in form, you kind of see those 3-0, 3-1 wins. But in recent history, it's a draw. I will say it's, and this may not be like a hot take, but it's going to be a 1 goal difference either way. I don't think it's a draw. I think one team wins. I hope it's going to be Tottenham, but I think it's just going to be like a 1 goal margin.
Hot take here, Joey. Just it started down here just now, and it just brought its way up, and here it comes. It's coming out. Harry Kane, Youngman's son, duo bomb.
A little goal combination? Okay. I'll take that.
A little Son Kane run the show this game.
God, I hope so.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's our coverage on that. We'll move on to the Newcastle Liverpool game. It's a big game on paper, table wise. Liverpool still have a chance to make a little run back into Europe. I think they don't have a game in hand on everyone, but they definitely do on Newcastle. Win here gets them within 6 points, and the way Newcastle's form is dipping, I mean, they'll have Bruno G back after their after this game, and they'll have him for the excuse me, Carabao Cup final. But they've been slipping without him, and even with them, their goal form or goal scoring form was starting to fall apart as well. But I'll let
He's
Casey
clinical
start.
to this Newcastle team. Bruno G is absolutely clinical. We've seen this kind of thing with just a quality center midfielder that kind of runs the show for your team behind the scenes. I had an example in mind, but I can't, it's lost me now. There was a really good example of a team that just plummeted in form when one of their best center mids got injured. I can't remember. I'll think about it at some point, but this is an interesting matchup. Not only is it a huge game, there's going to be a great atmosphere. Newcastle is missing a lot of their key players, and Liverpool is getting back a lot of their key players. This game right here is huge for Liverpool's confidence, form. Mohamed Salah ran train on Everton. They've got a lot of their key players back, a lot of solid defenders coming back. I think Liverpool is going to make a late run into. I don't know if they're going to catch Champions League this year. That it's going to be a really tough ask for them to do that. They'll have to go into insane overdrive type of form for the final stretch of games, but. I see this as an interesting game where Liverpool have a serious opportunity to say, yes, guys, we are back. Consider us back. Because like I was saying, I mean, teams go through that wave of form, and they got to take advantage of this now, because if they can beat a top 4 team technically right now, then that solidifies their confidence going forward. And we may be able to see the old Liverpool like we have in the past.
We should see, I would assume, at least 2 of 3 of Van Dijk, Firmino, and Jota back in the lineup.
Yeah.
Those 2, Jota and Firmino, featured in the last game. Van Dijk was on the bench but didn't get subbed on. So you can assume at least one of them is going to be back in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
And it's a good kind of slot for this game too, because like you said, it's a 4v9 matchup in the table, but there's so much history behind it where it's, even for a neutral, it should be a very exciting game. Yeah. Also, I didn't see that Almiron out with doubtful with a wrist injury.
Who? Almiron?
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, and then Callum Wilson is just slowly falling off the face of the earth.
Yeah,
he's
really
not.
Is.
He's kind of screwed me over FPL wise, but he's gone and not hurting me anymore on my team. But we will move on to the final game. It'll be Brighton versus Fulham, and I chose this game because they are 6 and 7 on the table, tied for points.
Yeah,
and I thought that this could be sort of an interesting game. Fulham are, and I've mentioned before that they're one of those teams where they kind of put up the same starting 11, and they've been treading water, best way to put it. I don't know. I mean, they've got some big wins. They've got some big kind of points away from home that are keeping them up. But I think they face a pretty tough test here against Brighton at home, who is just clicking on on all cylinders. They are going and going and going, and they have 2 games in hand to play, which they could easily win this game, as well as I believe they play FPL terms. They have a double game week in 27. So a lot of their games are going to come later on in the season as well. I did forget Willian did suffer an injury, so he will be out.
Yeah, that's very interesting. That's heavy. That's big time. Willian has looked very, very good in this Fulham team. Huh.
And then they've been playing McAllister at the 10 since Lallana's been out, and he's been getting a lot of like XG, like shots on target behind the scenes, and kind of pulling the strings for them when usually he plays a little bit of a deeper role, kind of in their 3-back. He's playing kind of those 2, not necessarily holding midfielders, but he sits behind the striker and the 2 wingers that are out wide.
Yeah.
This is one of those games where it's like in the 9 o'clock slate where, you're on goal rush maybe, or you're watching your favorite team play and you're like, oh, Brighton scored. Oh, Brighton scored. Oh, Brighton scored. Or it's gonna be like, is this game on? Like, is it?
Yeah.
0-0? Because we can't. Tim Ream, Anthony Robinson, Polina, even this
Leno is a very good goalie.
He's we got 10 minutes left. He's those guys have been gone. Who's their right center back? Why can't I think of who it is?
Fulham's?
Yeah. It's Tete on the right. Or maybe it's Tete at center back.
No, Tete's on the right. Who the hell is it?
I don't know. I'll look it up on right now, but we got 10 minutes. What do I expect? This game is actually my lock, and the more we spoke about this game, the more I kind of fell in love with my pick. So
it's ECD up.
Is it? I will start with my lock.
Pretty sure.
Go
for it.
Let me check. Make sure you're right. It's Issa Diop. Ex-West Ham legend Issa Diop. My lock, I'm writing it down right now, will be the Brighton versus Fulham. Well, actually, I'll clip it later for TikTok purposes, but I'll just talk about it right now. Is Brighton Fulham under 2.5? I am slightly worried about the Willian injury. Obviously, he is not a defender who will have any impact on how they defend their goal, but he is an outlet for their team. They've been keeping games low scoring, like 1-1, 0-1s. They beat Crystal Palace 3-0 away, which is kind of an anomaly. I don't think they're going to put 3 past Brighton, but I don't want to say Brighton have slowed down either, because they're still very much dominating games, but you're not seeing Solly March score. You're not seeing Matoma score. You're not seeing
Danny Welbeck come off the bench and score a brace.
Yeah. So I think, 2-0 is definitely in the books here. You could possibly bet BTS no or BTTS no, but I think a Brighton under 2.5 and the game is going to be the play for me.
Yeah. My lock here is going to be in the Newcastle Liverpool game. I'm just going to go all in and pretty much say Liverpool is going to be back, especially with their players coming back here. We talked about how some teams have such a crucial, that one center mid that just runs the whole field for them during games. That's Bruno G. He is an excellent player for Newcastle, and he will not be available for this game again. And Liverpool are coming back from a 2-0 derby win. They've got a bunch of players coming back. Jurgen Klopp is going to scream in German in all of their ears and say, "This is our chance. You guys better step it up like the old Liverpool has." So I'm going to be betting on that. And the line was really interesting to me. Liverpool are currently underdogs as we go into the weekend. I get it, since they're way lower in the table, and considering history, I understand why the line is that way, but that smells like an opportunity to me. Newcastle still could get some points from this. This is going to be a good game regardless, but I'm going to put my hat in Liverpool money line plus 170. I think it's great odds, good value. That's going to be my lock for the weekend.
All right. And eventually I'll get better at figuring out how to template this, but I'm just going to ask you again so I can get a little 30-second clip for TikTok.
Gotcha.
But, I'll start. My lock for the week is going to be Brighton versus Fulham under 2.5. Yeah, Brighton at home should be a very dominated game possession wise, plenty of chances. we've seen Fulham's back line be pretty stout, defensive, not breaking as much, but I could easily see this being a 1-0, 2-0 Brighton win.
Okay. My lock here is going to be Newcastle Liverpool. We're looking at Liverpool money line. Bruno G out for Newcastle. Newcastle kind of slipping in form, still got some injuries. Liverpool got some players coming back. They're going to make a push in this last stretch of games to attempt to get Europa or Champions League.
Okay. Very nice. So we've gone over the games. Let's see. We have a lot of games on Saturday. Saturday should be a lot of fun to watch, especially if you have Goal Rush on Peacock. But Carabao Cup will be next weekend or the following weekend as well. So FPL wise, I broke 90 points this week. How about you?
Nice. 74, I think. I put Shaw in my last bench slot, and I had Rico Lewis starting. So Gnotto got subbed in for Rico Lewis instead of Shaw.
I also had Shaw bench. I thought Leeds would score, and I thought United would play bad with Casemiro out. And of course,
me too.
as soon as I think someone got subbed in, and Shaw went back to left back, and like in the last 15 minutes, just ran down the field and was amazing. So as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a bad. Like he's on my second bench slot, and there's no way like any of my doublers weren't playing.
Yeah,
that was I could have broken 100, but we'll take 90. I had KDB and Mahrez go off for me.
There you go. Very nice.
So hoping to go. I'm on back-to-back green arrows. Hoping to have a third one this upcoming week. And yeah, with that being said, this was Footy Thoughts covering game week 24. Hopefully we go 2-0 again on our parlays. Make sure to check us out on TikTok at Footy Thoughts if you haven't. Banner, or I guess picture, still working on that, but just keep an eye out for us. Like, comment, subscribe to all our tens of 20s of followers. Gang, gang.
Peace.